Hello, and welcome to the latest sensation, the first ever Tink Tank Animate collaboration. You will hear wondrous stories, and with any luck, you'll laugh some and learn some from a kind mama duck. There will be flapping and quacking, and all on webbed feet. I'm referring to the ducks, not the artists you'll meet. So please, turn off your cell phones, stop polishing your nails, just sit back and enjoy these fine feathered tails.
This was our first Tink Tank workshop. We always wanted to do a Tink Tank workshop in person, but then pandemic hit and no one is able to go anywhere to the studio or anything. So we wanted to do the online workshop and try to, kind of get kids together. Everyone's so independent and they're so individualized when it comes to their own art. And I always saw how other workshops really put everyone on their own project. But then it was very difficult for me as someone to manage so many drastically different concepts and drastically different things that it just made it hard and difficult and never felt consistent enough in everyone's abilities throughout the workshop. So with this new workshop idea, I wanted to do something where it was a collaboration in concept and idea, but then everybody still got to make their very own thing, and that's why everyone made something about ducks.
So, Andres, let me just ask you a few questions. What inspired you about ducks?
And I live in Los Angeles, and I like to do animations, and I like to draw to become an artist. That's what I want to be, to inspire myself and create my own characters.
So have you ever seen a real duck or a duck from your imagination?
As a child, I saw all the ducks at the park, so I decided to design some cute ducklings.
Sounds like a great idea, Andres. Next question. What is your mommy duck trying to teach you?
The mama duck tried to teach you some education activities like the ABCs and like the rhymes and riddles that will teach us for children's education.
So what got you into the music of animation?
When I was a young adult, I went to the piano class to learn some piano techniques with my piano teacher, Dan Gillen, because I want to come something different to create my own music, and that will include of the Mama Ducks that I can make of children's music, that what I saw the children's music on YouTube, because I want to come up something happy and lovely that will be different that I want to make.
And Andres, just wanted to thank you for joining in the interview for our documentary.
You're welcome, and I appreciate with that, Harry.
Hello, I'm Mama Duck, and I would like to introduce with my ducklings about education and activities.
When most people think of film and collaboration, they think of, there's going to be a writer, a director, a producer, an animator, a sound guy, an editor, and they're all collaborating on this one movie. But that was not what we did. Everybody did their own piece, and they put on all those hats, because the hat that mattered to us, which always matters at Tink Tank, is that writer-director hat. Tyler, there's too much of Tyler, too many things to say about Tyler. Tyler.
Okay, ready to record? Rolling.
All right, so Tyler, I'm going to have to ask you a few questions. What inspired you about ducks?
I remember I was throwing around a whole bunch of ideas.
Yep, for this summer project about your duck.
One idea I had was to try to teach about shapes, but then I was thinking about life cycle of a duck from hatching to when they lay their first egg. And that kind of led to what came first, the duckling or the egg? Answer, the dinosaur. And that's how my final idea came to be. Kind of one thing leading to the next.
Oh, good. You're adding a little sense of humor. So that leads that what your mommy duck is trying to teach you.
Well, it's not really that the mama duck is trying to teach us. It's more like using the ducks as a framing device to show the link between dinosaurs and birds.
So I may have one more question. So have you ever seen a real duck or a duck from your imagination using you seeing it in your mind?
Oh, I've seen ducks plenty of times. Sometimes they're even just kind of waddling around my pool, minding their own business.
Tyler, tell us a little about yourself.
Let's see. I am presently. I'm living in San Jose right now. I think I turned 21 back in May on the spectrum. And I am hoping to get into the animation industry someday, kind of set an example for other like-minded individuals who want to follow my footsteps.
Well, that's all I wanted to know. So, Tyler, we want to thank you for being involved for the interview for our project.
Mm-hmm. I am glad we could have this discussion. See you around.
Oh, thanks.
Sadly, the Archaeopteryx no longer lives anywhere in the world. They were all gone by about 125 million years ago.
Well, my name is Justin Valenti, and I started getting interested in the arts when I was in middle school or high school. I took a digital art class, and I took some film classes, and I went to like a video editing camp. And that's when I first started being interested in animation. Was like after that film camp ended, and I went to like animation workshops in California. It's kind of a challenge because I need to remember that like my audience is much younger than I am, so they might not like understand certain things, but I make all my artwork is like family friendly. I have my mama duck teaching kids how deep the Panama Canal is, how long the Panama Canal is, and like how like a group of ducklings can get from the east coast of the United States to the Panama Canal, and then later on farther south. My title is Ducklings Trip to the Panama Canal. I live near a park. It's just down the street. They have like ducklings there in like the summer and the fall. I used to feed the ducks there when I was younger. Yeah, I'm not working on real ducks. I'm working on fantasy ducks.
So, Sam, I have a few questions I'm going to ask you. What inspires you about ducks?
They just kind of vibe, and they don't really do much, which is they kind of just go about their life like nothing really bothers them. They kind of like that about them. They're really chill.
Oh, yes, I see. Now, what is your mommy duck trying to teach you?
The mother duck is trying to teach colors to her kids, but all the colors are getting mixed up, but she doesn't give up on teaching the colors.
That sounds like a great idea, Sam. Now I have one more question. Have you ever seen a real duck or a duck from your imagination?
I have seen multiple real ducks. In fact, for a while I was scared that one of them would bite me or something, but that's not the case. They're actually very chill.
And tell us more about you, Sam.
Well, more about me is that, well, you already know my name is Sam, but I like to collect Legos and Hot Wheels. I like playing video games. I have loved cars since an early age and want to start my own car company. And I might be getting a part-time job like this summer.
Just wanted to thank you for joining in the interview for our documentary.
I'm available whenever I'm not doing something else. This banana is yellow, and this orange is orange. That's why they call it an orange. We had a good morning learning about colors. Now let's go get some lunch. I agree completely. Let's eat something.
Hello, my name is James Bradley Barbatano. I am from Saline, Michigan, although I was originally born in Chicago, Illinois. I like to go out for walks with my dog, Wally. I like to do a lot of creative writing. And also I work at a local grocery store, which I also really enjoy because I like to do manual labor. What got me interested in Tink Tank Animate was because I haven't been doing a lot of drawing lately, but I do like the animation process, and I thought that this would be a really fun opportunity to work on something fun with people who are like me on the spectrum, but also very creative in a way. Well, I've never had an experience with ducks before, but I used to see them like whenever I go for a walk with my dog, and we would see them like floating down this little river underneath a bridge, and I just like to look at them sometimes, and that's about it. But what I'm hoping for in my little animated short called Duck Force, I am hoping that the little animated short will teach children to it'll teach children to be nice towards others and try to help those who are less fortunate than them. Also, don't be a bully. That's also a big one too. This November, I have a book coming out called Moonberry Pie, which tells the story about a friendly witch who bakes a really delicious pie, but what she uses for the pie is a special fruit that only grows on the moon. She runs out and has to make a quick errand to the moon, only to find out that there are aliens on the moon who do not want to share the moonberries.
I'm hungry. Yes, oats.
The farm is in trouble. We have to help everyone. Finally, some action. After what happened today, why not?
In 3, 2, 1. So, John, tell me about yourself.
Since I was a child, I've been interested in filmmaking and animation and such.
Okay, you got 3 more questions. First of all, what inspires you about ducks?
Well, I'm inspired to educate children, little children. Specifically, I have a niece who recently turned 2, and so I'm sort of making it for her in a sense, making something I think she would like and that she could be educated by.
So what is your mommy duck trying to teach you while in your story?
I'm trying to teach about dinosaurs, since dinosaurs have been a subject I've been interested in, again, ever since I was a very young child.
Final question. Have you ever seen a real duck or a duck from your imagination?
Yeah, I've seen real ducks in real life, certainly. And yeah, and the ducks in my statement are modeled after real ducks.
Oh, yes, I see. Well, that's all I wanted to know, John. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm a pteranodon. Like my atroded friends here, I'm not actually a dinosaur, but I ruled the skies back in the days that dinos roamed the earth.
When they're in the one-on-ones, they feel like they have that freedom. When they see everybody else on screen, they feel like they're in a classroom. And I would try to break that with all of them as well, which we did. And I think we started to have some fun because of it. That they knew that, oh, wait, I can actually just talk if I want to. I could laugh if I want to. I could scream and yell if I want to. It might annoy this person. But the one thing that's great in the Zoom world especially with autism, is they get to hit that mute button, and they're great at it. But then they discover they love the mute button because then they don't hear anything, and they're in that little world, like I say, there's no world out there, and they just focus.
All right, so Caden, tell us about yourself.
Well, I am 18 years old, and I have a love of storytelling, animation, and I like making animated shorts and stories. One of my most famous projects is Jungala, and it is a fantasy movie experience. I would hopefully love to make Jangala and make it into a movie.
All right, so Caden, I got a few questions to ask you. What inspires you about ducks?
I decided to break this stereotype because I had to think about my young viewers in mind. Like, it wouldn't be much fun if we were just seeing ducks, and more ducks. I thought that I had to break the repetition and throw in a couple of other animals for fun. I decided to go with an otter, a goat, a monkey, and a turtle.
Oh yes, I see. So what is your animals trying to teach you in your story?
The animals are discovering the 5 senses: touch, taste, smell, sight, and sound.
Oh yes, I see. And I got you one more question. Have you ever seen real animals or animals from your imagination?
For the animals, I decided to take a look at what was done in the backyardigans and apply this same technique to give my animals a kid-friendly and cartoony look.
Oh yes, I see your point. Well, okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you for joining our documentary.
Well, thank you for including me in the documentary.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm not sure what's next for the critters. I'm currently working on Jangala 2 and Codename Breakout Squad.
Sure wish that would go along when you get it all green-lighted.
The phone is ringing. I'm listening to the phone.
Satori was done when she started, and she had a great time finishing.
My grandma told me about it, and so did my teacher. I'm a beginner. I try to search things online. Just copy and paste them onto my animation board. Hope you enjoy.
H. Hippo. I. Ice cream. J. Jump.
Whatever they're capable of doing, you help them bring that up to their best ability and present it in a clean fashion and get some little cleanup on it. But they were collaborating as a group of people working within a bubble of an idea.
So who are you? And what is your name anyway?
My name is Kyle Grossart.
And tell us a little about yourself.
I love Adobe Animate a lot because there's just so much you can draw on there, and you can make the drawings come to life, redraw them. You can do some other special stuff to the place. So you can make the animations long or short or fast or slow. You have options to pretty much every color possible.
Oh yes, I did use that system too. So Kyle, I'm gonna ask you 3 questions. 1, what inspires you about ducks?
What inspires me about ducks?
Mm-hmm.
That the fact that they're some of the most interesting birds ever. They swim. They have beautiful feathers. Some of them could even fly. Some, if not all. And they're easy to find at the lake. The parks have some of them. They're just really interesting birds, in my opinion.
Oh yes, great answer. Now the next question. What is your mommy duck trying to teach you in your story?
In my story, it's to be adaptable to the world that we're in.
Oh yeah, sounds very, very independent to me. And now I got one more question. Have you ever seen a real duck or a duck from your imagination?
I've seen real ducks a lot.
Oh,
And
yes.
I've seen them. There's a lot
Yes,
out there,
me
but
too.
I definitely have some ducks in my imagination that play, but these ones are really, really good. I have a lot I've seen out there.
That's all I want to know. Thanks, Kyle.
You're very welcome, Harry.
You're welcome.
There's lots of ponds out there to swim in, and this one is more than big enough for all of us. The old one was starting to get too small for you kids, but we have this one now.
They were all collaborating through the mentors, through myself, through Doug, through Kristen. Now, when they're all interacting, they're hearing how everyone's interacting with me, which goes into everybody else's world as well. So there is kind of this collaboration because they're not isolated and they're always all like coming into this. We're funneling it back and forth to each other.
My name is Jesse. I am 19 years old. Well, I just found art to be fascinating back then when I was very little. I used to draw with crayons. Anime was also the next step, how I got into drawing more. And then, Pokemon was the next step. It's the bigger step I got into, and decided to create my own character. I wanted to make this my own story. I didn't want to make this for little kids. I do, but I wanted to make my own story, not generic kid stuff. It's just this ugly duckling, who's sick and tired of being in this little pond and wants to get the ducks out of there so that way they can go to the bigger pond. We're just yeah, we need to entertain the kids. We can't just have them teach them about the same stuff over and over again.
I'm sick and tired of being in this small little pond. You know what? Come with me.
Which one of you hit my son?
Basically, my name is Evan, or Evan Baby, if you will. So basically, I started getting into art back in 7th grade. It started off by using pen and paper, I didn't really have that much interest in art, because keep in mind that my first drawing was off of a book cover, basically, aka middle school, the worst years of my life. I drawn that book cover and I showed it to most of my classmates, and they liked it. So that actually gave me some encouragement to keep on drawing, basically. And I was getting more into it. And the more that I drawn, I learned on how to do text bubbles, how to draw some people, and yeah, basically I was able to develop somewhat of an art style for me personally. And I just loved it very much. And while growing up, I was getting into YouTube and sort of stuff. I was watching animation channels such as The Odd Ones Out and or Something Else by P. So basically, I decided to become a storytime animator for YouTube. But however, I needed to start somewhere. So basically, for Christmas, I decided to get myself a Huion drawing tablet, an H320M. I never really thought about doing an animation program for starters, mainly teaching kids about different weather seasons, fall, winter, summer, and spring. The fun activities you could do, what the climate or what the weather is mainly, and the fun stuff that you could do during that season. In one of the animations, I drew a duck jumping into a pile of leaves for the fall scene, so that way I can show kids that you can have fun in the fall. Fall. winter.
Kevin, you can ask him about a train if you want. He has plenty of train stories to tell you. Why don't you ask Kevin about a train? Kevin, you know something about a train? Tell me about a train.
I became somewhat interested in animation after watching plenty of animated videos online that people have done. So far, the first one, my mom's trying to teach the types of trains you see out there. And my second one, the Mud Dog is teaching the various types of the family of Boeing aircraft. The 747 is pretty obvious because of the little hump near the front. The train one's already done, so yeah, that was pretty painless. Yeah, my mom came up with the idea of sending me here without my consent or permission. My parents.
Is this the one?
No, son. That's a streetcar. These trains run on the streets in many large cities.
I know for a fact this has to be it.
Yes, son. Our train is arriving now. Time to teleport into the train.
Suri would not make a mama's ducks. Suri had to make daddy ducks.
Here we go.
Perfect. Okay. We're going to have to change his arms, right? His arms are way up high. Maybe we'll change her look a little bit. And now circle the arm, yeah, with your pen. Easier than the mouse, huh? Oops.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Now you can either delete it or you can rotate it. If you delete it, you'll redraw it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I draw it.
Now you got to redraw it. You got to change the pen color. Oh yeah, get the other arm.
You need cover the yellow. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So look.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh. Watch. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, huh?
Uh-huh.
So, Alex, tell us about yourself.
Well, what do I look like to you?
This question is, tell us about yourself.
I said, what do I look like to you?
How did you got into the animation business?
I see a lot of, I watch a lot of movies with animated films. What? I've seen animated films.
So what inspired you about ducks in your animation?
Wait a minute. Are you talking about the ones for the Animaniacs or the ones for the Disney or Looney Tunes ones?
Huh? Oh, I was asking you about...
Who do you think I am? Donald Duck?
About what inspires you about ducks?
Who do you think I am? Daffy?
No. Yeah, like what is your mama duck trying to teach you in your story?
Magic.
Oh, yes. Very classic indeed.
You see what I come up with.
Yeah. And I got even one more. Have you ever seen a real duck or a duck from your imagination?
Really? I see ducks all the time. I see them at the theme park.
Oh, yes. A real one. Yeah.
Yeah, they're always swimming around.
Yeah, and you can also think about imaginary ducks inside your head. Well, that's all I want to know. Thank you, Alex.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you all for coming. I am the amazing John, Master of Magic Hearts.
And this is my lovely assistant, Ruby. I said my lovely assistant, Ruby. Ruby, what are you waiting for? Okay, number one, you know how to do that. And B, I am not your assistant. I am a magical partner. The amazing John will not stand for this.
Everyone always has their own pace. In the whole world, everyone has their own pace. But with this population, you can't try to balance. I really saw that in this workshop, that there is no way you're going to get everyone balanced on a pace. You really have to, and it's great to have them in their own little independent pod of themselves doing their own project in context of this bigger idea, because that allowed me to either speed them up or slow them down, depending on what pace would make them happy, and keep them happy throughout coming to something every single day, 5 days a week for 3 weeks, and doing 3 hours straight. And I know other workshops are longer, but I feel like we got a lot out of these guys. More in 3 hours than I would have got out of them in 4 hours.
I'm an artist. I can paint rocks and canvases and wood, and also wooden models of animals. I'm also a Lego builder. I can build very, very hard Legos. The best Legos I like to build are vehicles and even buildings from around the world. I like to go outside to be in nature. I love to go skateboarding and also hiking with my friend Miles and my dog Peter. I also like to make animated videos like this one. My ducks are flying right over different places, and they are teaching all the colors they have seen. The mama duck is showing the baby ducks all different colors in the world. They flew straight over buildings in a city, also flew over a garden, and they see delicious fruit and vegetables. They also flew over a beach to see all of the sea animals in the water. I'm working on a different animation. It's me. It's called Giant Thad Goes Big. It's about a boy named Thad who turns giant when his dog Glob farts on him. He grows giant and he destroys the city, and his mom can save him and fix the problem. I'm turning it into a book, and soon it'll be on Amazon. Behold, there's a rainbow house with a red chimney. The roof is light green and orange. It has windows, one that's pink, dark green, light blue, light orange, yellow, dark blue, door, a real blue window, red and light green, and there's a oranges, pink.
I would say my name is Kennedy Azina Refi. I'm 19 years old. I'm an animator. I started doing that stuff like, I say 8 years ago when it was like I began doing some art and stuff in 2013 when I was like, I think I was younger and while I was in middle school, I think. And in 2014, I decided to do my first animatic, that is The Confrontation, adding storyboards all together. But as I do that kind of stuff for my first animatic, I decided to do drawing and art. But as I go on, when I was 12, I began, my real animation I did was The Confrontation, that is for Stella and Anime Academy. That was my first animation when I was like 12. I'm gonna teach the little ducklings for demonstrations of opera, what it looks like. She's like giving some little baby ducks for demonstration what opera is. Or maybe take them on a field trip to show what an opera house is.
Trombone.
Well, the dream is always that all artists can like throw the rest of the world out and just focus on their art. And when they want to take a break, we'll take a break. And then when we want to come back to the art, we'll come back to the art. And if you really quiet the world outside of you, I see all of these artists that were in the workshop, they'd all do that. If we could quiet the world, then an artist is going to be like, okay, I work for an hour and you know what? I need a little break. I'm going to take a walk, but I got nothing else and nothing else is bothering me. Nothing's going to faze me. I'll come back and keep going. And there was that going on with these guys. And they were very surprised when at first I started it just like a normal session, which is, I don't care when you take a break. Then they're like, no, when do we get a break? At the hour? It's like, no, you get a break when you need a break. Do you like the animation I made of your alphabet book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything in particular you liked out of it?
Not really.
Not really. You could have done each and every one of those ducks. Well, you drew all the ducks, right?
Yes.
You were diligent. You worked so hard.
F. F is for fish. F is for frog. F.
Well, the name is Harry Schad, and I've first gotten interested into the arts since I was in kindergarten and elementary school. Well, for one thing for certain, that since the world might be since many of the United States countries are trying to recover from the pandemic, and I wanted to add something a little realism into ducks. So I have decided to teach the mama duck teaching the duckling how to fly. When the duckling first tried to fly and landed a little clumsy through a mud puddle and then into the lake. Finally ended up successful on the third try. Keep on trying and never give up. Well, I counted some real ducks back on a canal on a lake during the summer and fall. We see mallard ducks and some Canadian geese, and there's a little strange duck is mixed that thought it looked like a goose and a duck.
If you want to fly high in the sky, you have to keep on trying to fly into the sky. If you want to learn to fly, you gotta try.
So Bella, tell us about yourself.
Hey, yeah, my name is Bella, and I'm an actress. I'm 15 years old, and I love drawing, singing, and a lot of other things. And I'm an artist.
Oh, yeah,
And,
it
well,
seems like you have really great talents there. So let me ask you
well, I helped you with the singing part because I sang the song with the little otter and the duck.
Yes, I heard the whole thing. And all the lyrics and the tempo matches to all Bella's singing and Andreas's music, and with the little tempo checking, that is just what I needed.
It was fun to try new things and just try something new and fun.
Oh yes, good point there. And got one more question. Have you ever seen a real duck or a duck from your imagination?
Not from my imagination though, but I have seen real ducks. They're pretty cute. Remember seeing this one duck at Disneyland who was just pretending to wait in the line for Matterhorn. It was adorable.
Oh, yes. Now that's something you don't see every day.
Nope. I recorded it.
Yeah. Well,
because I knew no one would believe me.
all right. Whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. Well, Bella, that's all I wanted to know. Just want to give a really big thank you for all your support for joining in this documentary.
No problem. It was really, really fun. Bye. Bye.
So, Drew, tell us about yourself.
Well, not to get into too many details. Ah, crap! I forgot my ring. Well, I just got married about a month ago. I'm 25 years old. I'm a semi-professional voice actor and photographer, artist, jack of all trades, so to speak. Yeah.
All right, so I got a couple of questions I want to ask you. First one is, what inspires you about ducks for this project?
I'm also a bunch of the voices in this project. So, I mean, obviously you knew that, but I don't know if anybody else knows that. So, I think what inspires me about the project is we're giving all of these people on the spectrum, or just in general, this opportunity to be creative and show their creative just the creative side, because a lot of times I just feel like people on the spectrum, like high functioning, lower functioning, anybody but even if they're creative, sometimes they kind of get shafted when it comes to a lot of like fields, because people would generally think that we're not very I don't want to say, I don't know the right word to put it, but like we don't have as well as opportunities to express ourselves through art and such in this scope that we are able to right now. So even if right now it's at this level, hopefully we can show what we can do, writing wise, voiceover wise, directory wise, all of that. I hope that it can help us out and get to a higher point in the future, or whatever, so to speak.
Good point there. Now I got one more question. Have you ever seen a real duck or a duck from your imagination?
Man, you see all those like TikToks or like those Instagram posts, or even just like little Twitter posts you see of like someone messing around with the duck or whatever. It's like, well, this is why we don't deserve ducks, or this is why I love ducks, and it's just like a little duck like swimming in a sink or whatever. I think when they're like little tiny or whatever, or they look really fluffy, not trying to kill you, I think they're pretty cute. Yeah.
Well, Drew, want to thank you for all the support for doing several voices for our project. Well, Drew, that's all I wanted to know. Thanks for joining the interview.
Yep, no problem.
And now, for one parent's perspective, I'm pleased to introduce to you all my mom.
We have done workshops before, and it's one concept, and then that's it. And I know we were always kind of knocking at Tink Tank's door to ask for collaboration. It's one thing when a kid works on their own project. It's another thing in the real world is you don't work on your own projects, you work with a team. Such a great experience. Got to use so many different, we've gone just starting with Todd as the mentor to now growing to several mentors that have very specific talents that can tap into and grow Harry in different ways to become a better artist. You had encouraged him. I remember when we were trying to figure out his college program, I was rooting for the local school and just getting a certificate. And you said, no, he needs those world classes. He needs those humanities.
Yeah.
He needs all of that. and obviously he needed to be 12 hours away from his mom in Colorado. So, but he's learning so much more, and learning all that stuff is going to help him in his storytelling. And that's what Tink Tank is about, is storytelling.
Absolutely. And that's the only thing anybody, if you want to be an artist, in my mind, oh, you want to be an artist? Well, that means you want to be a storyteller, and that means you need humanities.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that's going to give you reason to do any of this stuff. Yeah.
So that was genius of you.
Oh, thank you.
Because I couldn't see it. I couldn't see that. And you showed us the way. So I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I hope you all had fun meeting my new artist friends. I would like to thank Todd and Tink Tank for asking me to direct this documentary. It has been a blast. Once again, I'm Harry Schad reporting from behind the pond. We'll see you next time.